Presidential contender Bernie Sanders announcing a radical new proposal for addressing the border crisis. His plan has four main pieces to it, although a lot of other things that are crazy about it. An immediate halt to deportations, breaking up ICE, the Border Patrol, and all other immigration enforcement agencies, granting full welfare access to illegal immigrants, and welcoming a minimum of 50,000 so-called climate migrants. And Sanders also saying he will use an executive action to, quote, protect our immigrant communities and reverse every single horrific action implemented by Trump. His words. Joining us now is the National Border Patrol Council's Vice President, Art Del Cueto. Art, what do you think would happen if this plan were implemented?
Oh, well, first of all, I think it's unrealistic. But if this plan would be implemented, you'd see a mass flow of criminals entering our country. We just saw, it's been all over the news, the issues that are happening in Mexico with the cartels. That's something that is a day-to-day occurrence in Mexico. Obviously, now we're seeing it because it was American citizens that were massacred, American children that were massacred. And now to have Bernie Sanders saying he wants to open the doors and allow those people in our country, that's very irresponsible.
Hi, Art. It's Heather Zumarraga. So most Democrats actually support.
Hi, Heather.
Like Harris, Senator Harris, as well as Warren, support the just decriminalizing at the border. They're allowing illegals to cross the border. Joe Biden said that this would be an absolute crime, though. He was the only Democrat thus far that's pushed back. What are your thoughts?
No, it's definitely a crime. What you're doing is you're selling out the American public. You're selling out, citizens. In a time where we're seeing how horrible some of these criminals can be, you want to open up the doors and the floodgates and just add that magnet of crime into our country, which will now allow them to be going through our neighborhoods and our schools. I mean, I think it's just irresponsible. And I think it's nothing more than political pondering, of course. I mean, they're just pandering to a certain group. But it is very irresponsible when you start mentioning those things because, something like that, it can grow legs and people can start thinking it's a good idea when realistically it's not only an irresponsible idea, but it's a horrible idea.
Hey, Art, Gary Smith, listen, I agree with what you're saying. I think hearkening back to when immigrants landed on Ellis Island, it should be an earned privilege rather than anything else. But I'm curious, you talk about the criminals and the bad guys, if you will, enter. Do you have any statistics or numbers about how crime rates change as these illegal immigrants cross the border?
All you got to do is look at the facts speak for themselves. Look at the monstrosities and the horrific acts that are occurring in Mexico, and it's happening right against our borders. You look at that, and then you look and see that there is no actual way to determine how many illegals are coming into the country, and we are not apprehending. We have the numbers of what we apprehend, but we don't have the numbers of what gets away. That's a huge thing. One thing I did agree with Senator Sanders on is he said that immigration is not a threat to our nation. It isn't. But what he needs to understand is illegal immigration is. And I don't understand why these individuals are having such a hard time with the English language, but there's a big difference between illegal immigration and legal immigration. And that's coming from an immigrant that English is his second language.
Art, to that point, Kristina Partsinevelos here, I think you used the word pandering, which I think is, and I'm using and making an opinion that it's accurate given how many proposals were put into this plan. However, on the flip side, you have bipartisan support that, or I guess, unhappiness about the separation of families. So over the last little while, what are you seeing in terms of how that is trying to be mitigated, especially with the abundance of families and people stuck in these facilities?
Upon speaking to the agents that I represent, we constantly get these stories of these minors that are coming across, and then we discover that the individuals that are claiming to be their parents or be their guardians is simply not true. And what's happening is they're renting these children in Mexico so they can come across and they can use the loophole of asylum and holding on to a child. That's the reality of what's happening. I will also remind a lot of people that if in the United States, as a U.S. citizen, you commit a crime and you have a child with you, you will be separated from that child. Now, coming into the country and asking for asylum, that is not against the law. But crossing in between our ports of entry illegally, trying not to be detected, that is against the law. And once again, I'll remind you, there's a huge difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration.
In essence, this is going against the rule of law. You know, this is at the heart of Marxism. With that said, this is a business show, right? So, you know, in business, we have to prepare for the worst, and we have to make sure that, you know what, if this actually happens, how are you going to handle it? So that's a question to you. You know, do you have ways to handle this chaos at the border? Is there use of technology, things of that nature? The wall may not be completely finished. What can you do if this is the likely outcome?
No, I mean, obviously, we're in a very tough position if something like this would happen. But, you know, I trust that there's enough individuals out there and there's enough politicians that care enough about this country that they can pretty much be on the opposite end when we have politicians that are speaking very irresponsible and selling out the American public. And that's what it's going to come down to. How much do you really care for this country?
Yeah.
Or are you willing to, you know, put someone in office that realistically doesn't care about you or me or any American in this country?
By the way, John talked about rule of law. You know, he has another plan that people, illegals who've been here for 5 years automatically get legal status. Very personally, I've got a Nicaraguan sister-in-law. She's been trying for 12 years to get a green card. She's been doing it legally. There are millions of others like her who are trying to do it legally. This would leapfrog over all of those people who've been adhering to the rule of law. And it's not a good precedent to set. Art, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for coming in again. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you for having me.